Welcome to The Most Important Thing. I'm Danielle DeMarco Neufeld.
And I'm Greg Neufeld. Together, we're exploring how ambitious, busy families can build culture at home.
Because after all, family is the most important thing. Welcome, everybody, to episode 21, our 11th and final episode in the Wholehearted Parenting Manifesto. We are here.
We've made it.
Yeah.
Thanks for sticking with us.
That's right. I hope that you've learned something. We certainly have learned a lot.
A lot.
But more on that later.
11 a lots.
11 a lots. So this one today is on seeing and being seen.
Yeah.
Shall I read the line?
Please.
Okay. I will not teach or love or show you anything perfectly, but I will try to let you see me, and I will always hold sacred the gift of seeing you. Truly, deeply seeing you.
Seeing you.
Kind of what it's all about, no?
See and be seen.
See and be seen. In a whole different way than that used to be, right?
That's right.
Used to be about going to the club, making sure that we were wearing, like, for me, something iridescent usually, and then like see and be seen at Rose Bar. Now it's like see and be seen by my children.
That's right.
So let's see, 11 episodes in, and we began this journey because this was my aha moment, my little light bulb, when we were starting to talk about setting the emotional wiring of the home, right? So how has that landed for you? Do you think that this has been a good trailhead?
I think it's been a great trailhead. I don't think that I ever really read the Wholehearted Parenting Manifesto as a parent, really thinking of myself as a parent. I read it as what someone else who's a parent would want for their child. But to go through this exercise and think about all of these things for ourselves, for our own kids, it's been a wonderful journey. It just has.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I think you can read it and say, oh, that's interesting, right? That really said a lot. But I'm really grateful that we've taken the time to talk about each line and really pause. I've kind of relished in this, honestly. It's so often I think we consume so much content, we read so much that sitting with something like this that Brene wrote, so much from the heart, is really a luxury, if you will.
Yeah. We're starting something new here. We're 21 now episodes in, plus a few side quests.
Yeah.
If you will.
Always side quests.
Always have the side quest. And at the beginning of this journey, I think it was important for us to have the Wholehearted Parenting Manifesto as a foundation, not just for our family, but for our podcast.
Mm-hmm.
This podcast is a baby. And in raising the baby, we're hanging the WPM next to the crib saying, this is what I want for you.
Sure. I think that this juxtaposition between the rituals and routines like family meetings, family meals, which have been awesome, and we continue to do those. We haven't done an experiment update in a while, but I would say that family meetings, family meals, and family movement have become weekly rituals in our home, right? And we continue to try to sprinkle in family stories. But suffice it to say that I do believe that we have ritualized a lot of what we set out as important in the first 8 episodes of this podcast, which I'm happy for. And also, like, not that surprised because we are massive action takers and very good at routine. But this is a little bit different, this second arc around the language and the framework and really emotionally what is like laying claim to what is emotionally important within our home, how we want to show up for ourselves and for one another.
You know those lights in the hallway in Severance that like light up as you take the steps?
Yes, creepy,
but I feel like that's the light that's been guiding us through this.
Ah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, through this journey.
Yeah, well, anytime anybody asks me about our podcast and where we're going, I'm like, I don't think you understand how this is working. I know that we're on the path. I feel that we are on the trail, but I can only see like 2 or 3 steps ahead on a good day, like on a clear day. That is as far ahead as we can go. So there's something mystical about it, I think. And I'm really grateful to have one of my sages, Brene Brown, and maybe yours now too.
Yeah.
Guiding us.
Totally.
This second arc.
She's been a wonderful guide into where we are today. I don't want to set up this podcast to only be looking at the sages.
Sure.
But I'm so glad that we did this. I'm really glad that we're here.
Me too. And we're just getting started.
We are just getting started.
Yeah. So let's get to it. Mm-hmm. Seeing and being seen. I think that throughout this journey, we've talked about a lot of important things. Courage, compassion, boundaries, accountability, and respect are things that come to mind. And here at the very end, I feel like she is saying it all, which is at the end of the day, in order to have a family that is connected, joyful, and where everyone belongs, the simple truth is we just need to show up imperfectly and see one another.
So how do we do that?
By pausing, by staying present, right? I don't know. I wouldn't say that at this time of my life, I don't think that I have too much trouble seeing people. It's what comes next that I struggle with a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I see you. And now what am I going to do with it?
Right.
Right. And also, I think that being vulnerable and showing up imperfectly and allowing ourselves to be seen is the other part of this. So which do you want to talk about first?
So the two parts are the seeing versus the showing up.
Yeah. I mean, the way she positions it is that I will show up vulnerably and imperfectly and allow myself to be seen.
Right.
And then I will also truly, deeply see you.
Yeah. I think I want to start with the truly, deeply seeing you, because that to me is thinking about what seeing means. There's an action or inaction that's almost required after you know somebody.
Okay. Say more.
Well, so seeing Maverick the other day for what he was capable of on a bike ride and knowing how to get him home without picking him up or picking up the bike or letting him tap out, that was an amazing action that you took. And I didn't know how you were going to do that.
Do you want to set the context a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So we're on a bike ride, family bike ride, pretty hot. We did about 1.5 miles. Danielle and I were walking/running alongside the 3 kids. And we got to the halfway point to turn around. And there's a little hill coming back. And Maverick is just, he's had it. He's like, no. And we're really just at the turnaround point, basically.
Yeah, we had the whole way home to
Yeah.
go. Meanwhile, so Hunter and Jade both know how to pedal and are pretty fast on their bikes. And Maverick has just really mastered the balance bike. So this was his first big journey without pedals, but on a real bike.
And I'm sitting here looking at this kid being like, hell no, am I going to walk his bike home or carry him home? And Danielle's thinking the same thing. But I'm like, I don't have the tools to get him to ride his bike home. What are we going to do here? And I'm thinking back to, like, I probably was that kid. I probably was that 3.5-year-old that wanted to give up. And I believe that my parents let me. This kid had it in him to make it home, and he did. And it is in the act of seeing him that there was a choice to be made in that moment. And the choice that you made was, I'm going to figure out how to unlock this kid's will and not force him, not scold him, not shame him, but really be there with him and get him home. And I don't know what you did next, but all I know is I was with the girls running ahead, and I see him coming around the corner, sweating his face off and just like looking so determined. And he made it all the way home.
He did. He the last leg of the trip, I mean, he was flying. It was amazing.
It was incredible.
Kristen Faulkner, we channeled you.
Yeah.
He did, for sure.
For sure.
You know, I think it does go back to this bigger picture of seeing Maverick. And it's something that I feel like anybody else out there, I feel like I can really only focus on one child at a time. And maybe a week and a half ago, I decided, okay, we have to work on some skills with Maverick, some skill building with Maverick. Because as our third child, he kind of takes the easy route, and we've allowed him to take the easy route in certain skill building. So let me try to get more specific here. Swimming. He is 3.5, 3 3/4 as of today, actually. So he swims with swimmies on or floaties on because he wants to jump in the pool and swim around like his sisters, right? This is later than the other 2 learned to swim. But it's because he wants to keep up with his sisters. Same thing with the bike. This was his first balance bike adventure because he'd been on his scooter for the past 6 months, because that was faster than learning to balance bike, and it was a way that he could somewhat keep up with his sisters. What he realized is that his legs start to hurt on the scooter after a little while. And so that's not going to get him to go the distance, right? So what happened on the bike the other day was, one, I absolutely did not want to be carrying it home. And I knew it was going to take way longer and nap time wasn't coming. But I saw him in a way that he hasn't yet seen himself. And that is a capable, determined, strong little boy who absolutely had the physical stamina to get home. And so, yeah, I really tried to tap into that. I used our Neufeld family cheer. I said the word, I said, you are a Neufeld. You do hard things. We are determined. You are going to feel so good when you get home. And I promise to give you lots of ice water with electrolytes. I also did something a little bit coloring outside the lines. I took off his helmet because he was so hot and he wasn't really going that fast. So I reasoned to myself that that was an okay thing. And I think that that really moved the needle for him. This idea of seeing you is relatively complex, I think, because sometimes it's about someone really trying to show you who they are overtly. And other times, especially with our children, I think we need to be that mirror reflecting to them what we see in them that they don't yet see in themselves.
Yes.
And this was a case of the latter.
Yes. Well done. I mean, thank you, from all of us.
Thank you. Well, it was also one of those times where I just had the capacity. There
Sure.
are times when I have to tap out and you have to fill in,
Sure.
right? I just happened to have capacity yesterday.
Yeah. Well, you had a set of tools that really worked for him. I think that encouraging him to see himself, and whatever that action is that I alluded to just a few minutes ago, where I'm saying seeing requires an action or inaction. Like knowing what that action is in that moment or inaction to help the child to see themselves. That's really what the process looks like.
I agree with you. I'm also thinking about how that didn't happen in isolation, right?
Of course not.
We have a strong foundation of connection and he knows that I'm on his team. Even though he doesn't feel like putting in the plates into the dishwasher or brushing his teeth or going to the bathroom before he leaves for school, he knows that I am the person that always builds the frame of his puzzles, that will always play stuffies with him, that will ride train tracks and build magnetile towers when he wants to, right? And so when I tell him that this is something that he is capable of, I do think that he believes me, even though he's really scared.
Yeah.
Like that's what we've learned about him, is that he puts on a really tough exterior and puts up a really tough fight. But underneath, because he finally did say it and break down, he said, I'm scared. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think that there's probably a comparable story for each of our children just over the last week, where you've been able to see them and turn something that was really tough into a situation of growth.
Thanks. I think you give me way too much credit. Always, not just on this podcast. He always does. I want to be really honest here, though, and say that there's one person with whom I really struggle with fanning her flame, and that's Hunter. I don't know if it's because she's the firstborn. It's because she's our daughter, because she and I have a lot of similar tendencies. But I do think that I see her, and a lot of times I don't like what I see. And back to our TMIT episode with Jen Zellman, it's a lot of the time I think that I am trying to control or put out the things that were put out in me.
Mm.
And so while I have a reminder on my phone every Saturday that says, what do I want most for our children? I want to see them, believe in them, and love them. I think I really need to work on the believe in them when it comes to Hunter more than anything, because oftentimes she's just too much for me. And that hurts. It hurts literally coming out of my mouth, because that's my thing too, where I feel like I am just too much and was told that I was too much. And now here I am repeating that about my firstborn daughter. Yikes. Yikes.
Yeah.
Brene, you got me again. So when it comes to experiments, what I can commit to, and it's high time that I do, is not just seeing Hunter, but allowing her to be seen even when it makes me uncomfortable.
Hmm. I'm wondering if Hunter is doing something that I notice with each of our kids, for me, where they're showing one side of them that they think that you don't see enough of, or think that they're not able to show off enough in the rest of the world. So for Hunter, nonstop conversation, talking, watch this. She's the little one in her school. She's the little one in her camp. She's 7, which is a big 7 in this house, but it's a little number 7 everywhere else.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
For me, I see Jade, for example, whenever music comes on, she gives me like a huge stare to make sure I'm looking and then does the silliest dance possible. And it's because she wants me to know, Dad, I see the way you look at me when I dance like this. And what I want her to know is, Jade, I see you all the time. You might not see it, but I see you all the time. And I want for you to know that you don't have to dance like a silly, crazy maniac for me to see you and love you. But sometimes our kids can teach us things about ourselves that we don't know or that isn't so obvious. So Maverick has this really unfortunate evening bathroom habit where he has to use the bathroom before he goes to bed. And
Pooping, he's
I'm
saying.
on Maverick evening poop duty. And I really don't like it. And a couple weeks ago, though, he said to me, Dad, talk to me. And I realized that the reason he doesn't like going to the bathroom is because I'm trying to get him to do his business and go to sleep. Whereas what he really wants is a continuation of bedtime and for someone to stand there and talk to him. The problem is he's easily distracted because he's 3.5 and he doesn't use the potty unless he's there by himself. So what I've tried to do instead is not talk to him on the potty, but not bring my phone into the kid's room during bedtime so that I can be present for everything up to the pooping. And that way, at least we have that time of connection. But that is something that I didn't realize about myself, is that I was still busy in the day. And when he said, Dad, talk to me, when he was pooping, I listened. For Hunter, I think I was Hunter. I was really bold and loud at home. And I was the runt. I was the little kid in school. I was a grade ahead, or, almost a grade ahead because of my birthday, just like she is. And I realized it last night. I was looking through some family photos on the computer because it was the 11th anniversary of my dad's passing. And I realized all the photos that I was looking at were of me and my dad, or me and my mom, or me and my mom and dad, or me and my grandparents, or me and my brother and my parents. But for my entire life, I've skipped over the photos of my brother with my father or my brother with my mother. I never even really reflected on that separate relationship that they all had, that each of them had together. And I think that's like firstborn symptoms, that's firstborn syndrome, I should say, where like everyone else is kind of in the supporting cast and I had the lead role in my mind. And because you are able to see Hunter for that, and you're able to shut her down at times and be like, no, you are 1/5 of this family, I think that you're going to find that repetition will really pay off. So I don't think that you need to scold yourself or be ashamed of the way that you're showing up in that relationship, because I don't think it's the same as you being told that you're too much. I think you being told that you were too much were probably by people that weren't ready to include you in their lives, versus with Hunter, you're telling her that she's 1/5 of this family, and that is an accurate representation.
I say 1/6 because of
1/6
Winston
because of
too.
Winston, yeah. And that is an accurate representation. So don't beat yourself up for that. I really would not equate you being told that you are too much with you telling Hunter that she is too much, because while they are the same words, their meaning could not be more different.
Sure. I hear you. I think that there are times when she is taking up more than her fair share of space in the home,
Absolutely.
and that I do, but I could do better in kind of saying things like, Hunter, I love how expressive you are. I love how much energy that you have in the morning. and we need to make space for everyone here, right? And that kind of more balanced approach. There are also times where she is, really does come out around being theatrical or artistic. Those were not things that were cultivated in my home. Not only that, but they weren't really allowed. And so I really have trouble allowing them, even when it is just that 1/6 of the family. Do you know what I mean? So they're two
Yeah.
separate things.
No, I understand.
I think that I want to, and I mentioned this in our joy episode, that I just want to continue the thread of just allowing space of someone when they're in their joy, but also being really thoughtful and intentional about the way that I give feedback or give notes, as she's come to learn in her theater camp, on how we show up with one another. Because at the end of the day, while I want to fan the flame of everyone in this home, I also want to help them learn how to thrive in community. And if you are not paying any attention, you're not reading the room because you are off singing and dancing and you can't tell that other people are getting irritated and can't get a word in. That's not good either.
No, it's not. I don't know if that's the case, though. And I suspect that Hunter is bringing the energy to the house that she doesn't feel comfortable showing up with elsewhere.
Well, whatever it is, it has knock-on effects for the rest of this family.
Of course it does. I don't disagree. My hunch is that we need to give her more responsibility on the parent team, if you will, in order for her to cease that behavior. Because right now she's showing up as the loudest Neufeld kid. And I think she needs to show up as the quietest and most observant, like Neufeld parent assistant. Because you know who's really freaking loud and won't stop talking to? Maverick. But we don't have any tools for that because he's 3.5.
Sure. Okay. I feel like we're digressing off of seeing and being seen. And I also don't want to make this all about the kids.
Sure.
So more to be revealed.
More to be revealed.
But the point is we are seeing them.
We're seeing them for sure.
My gosh. I feel like every week we have a different late night conversation about a different child.
Yeah.
Right? Which is all we can really hope for. I think that's all our kids can really hope for too.
And we're giving them the tools as a part of this family that when we do see them struggling, they will be able to overcome the obstacle. They will be able to finish that math page. They will be able to read that word. They will be able to get that bike home. They will be able to take their swimmies off in the pool and start swimming for the first time like Maverick just did. I think this is what seeing is all about, is seeing when they're ready. And it's not just saying, hey, I think you're ready. It's saying, I know you're ready because I've watched you and I see you and I know that you do hard things. And I mean, the proof is in the pudding. These kids really do end up impressing each and every one of us, and especially themselves, with what they're capable of.
Yeah. There is also an element of this that I want to express my gratitude to you for always allowing me to be seen. Like, I truly feel like I can show up in our home and in our marriage with my high highs and my low lows. And I'm extremely grateful for you for allowing space for that.
Thanks for saying that.
Yeah. I mean, just this
I'm
morning,
here for it.
right? Just this morning, I was really having a down morning, which is not like me, but it happens sometimes. And you didn't really know how to support me, but you just hugged me and said, I hear you. I see you. I see where you are, and I'm here for you.
Yeah. I mean, thanks for doing the same for me. You're a great modeler of seeing.
Greg, take a compliment. Don't throw it back at me.
Okay.
No, truly. Yeah.
You make it easy to be seen.
I show up very loudly.
No, it's just you are very true with your words. You're very true with your needs. And you don't mope around looking for attention. So it's pretty clear when you need some space, when you need some extra love, when you need some problem solving, when you need some empathy. Like, you're pretty clear with what you need.
Thanks. Yeah. We used to say in our home, between the two of us, we would say, okay, do you want empathy or do you want a solution? And I still really like that. But I heard something the other day that I think might even be better.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. 3 H's. It was like an Instagram push to me, but he said, do you want to be helped, heard, or hugged?
Oh,
I really like that.
Cool.
Because, yeah, sometimes you don't want empathy or a solution. You just want a hug.
Yeah.
So, do you want to be helped, heard, or hugged?
Okay.
I think that's a good one for us. I think it's a good one with the kids too.
Definitely with the kids. Yeah. One of the ways that I feel like I can be seen by this family is through singing and through play. So singing and play it's weird. It's like dusting off a game that I haven't played in a while that I clearly have fond memories of and know how to enjoy, but it takes me a little while to get revved up. But I just noticed yesterday in a family meeting, Hunter did some theatrical warm-ups, and she did it for like 2 minutes, and I was like, okay, let's move on. And then she did it for another 5 minutes, and I was like, don't stop. Like, why are we stopping? This is amazing.
So once you pushed through,
Yeah.
you were there. Cool.
Yeah.
I was ready to stop the whole time.
I know. But I was like, oh, this is great. I was like, aren't you going to do this? So I just know that about myself, that I'm able to be seen and just be a better, I don't know how to say it. There's something about being seen and play and singing that really helps me to relate to our kids, but more so for them to relate to me.
Mm.
So that's why I don't mind Hunter's, Dad, watch this, watch this, watch this, watch this. It's like the most.
But then something totally underwhelming happens.
Every single time. She's never been 7.5 before.
I know.
And twirling, and like she's never seen it before. Everything is so new for her.
Yes.
So it's hard. That's why I really liked her coming to me and being like, Dad, there's this dance that they were all learning at camp that all the counselors were learning. She was like, and it went like a 5, 6, 7, 8, and I was like, wait, they're teaching the chorus line dance? We've got to do that as a family. So just things like that. I feel very, very seen in like the best way of like childish or childhood delight, if you will.
It's very cool that Hunter found theater on her own, I would say. It's not something that you pushed, but it really does feel full circle that now she is kind of leading you back to theater.
Yeah, it is.
Another thing that comes up for me when I read this line is about how there have been many moments, some my darkest moments, where our children see me, and it is profoundly healing. So I can remember, it was really a couple of years ago that I had lost my temper and screamed loudly at someone, and we were getting in the golf cart on our way to the beach, and I was feeling ashamed. And as I climbed in the back next to Hunter, she said, "It's okay, Mommy. Everyone loses their temper sometimes. We know you just had to let it out." And she held my hand. And that was incredible. She saw me and she knew that, well, she thought it was no big deal. To her, it wasn't that deep. And here I am having an existential crisis over how I'm the angry mom. I'm the worst mom ever for losing my temper. And she's like, "I have meltdowns all the time, Mommy. You can too." And that was so profoundly healing to me. Like, it's okay. It's really okay.
Takes one to know one.
What does that mean?
Just that she's picked that up from somewhere.
Yeah, I guess I just didn't know because, how can I say this appropriately? I, like many people my age, are trying to do something different than the generations before me. I think that will probably happen with my kids too. But so I don't really have a blueprint for how this is supposed to go. And I guess part of me thought that I'm never supposed to overreact. I'm never supposed to scream and yell because I'm supposed to be the capable one, the evolved one, the one that is nurturing, protecting, and guiding. And in that moment, I really understood that it's okay to be human.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's important to be human, to show that you're human, to let that part of you be seen. I had parents that tried to do everything perfectly and not show us their human side. And I can only remember a handful of occasions when either of them lost their temper. But I got my way so much more than I should have. And that was the flip side, right? That was the trade-off that they made. I would have much rather, in hindsight, learned a lot of these lessons that I learned later in life from them earlier and had them lose their temper for me to learn them.
So we're doing great.
So yeah, definitely better than the previous generation.
Okay. So I do think that this family is seeing one another. And I do think that
Yeah.
everyone is showing up vulnerably.
Yeah.
And so that feels like if we take nothing else from this Wholehearted Parenting Manifesto, but we keep doing that, we will thrive.
We will. And I think there's something really reality TV-esque about the two of us because we're living our whole lives in front of these children, right? We're not hiding any part of it. We're working in front of them. We're recording podcasts in front of them. We're playing with them. We're setting up our own time away from their time. Like the days are full and they're full of different activities, many of which do not include them, but they bear witness to it.
Yep.
That's all I got.
Cool. Okay. So what is the most important thing about seeing and being seen? I think it's what Brene says. It's about showing up imperfectly and seeing each other imperfectly, but working hard to continue that process.
Yeah. And I would love for our kids to reflect on their childhood and say, well, my mom and dad, they loved me and they motivated me, but they didn't try to change me.
That is a really high bar.
Yeah. Working on it.
Yeah. I think I would love for our kids to say that I know they didn't do everything right. They did a lot of things right, but they made quite a few mistakes. But I know they tried really hard.
Yeah.
And that their hearts were in the right place.
Yep.
Well, thank you, Brene Brown, for bringing us on this journey. I hope that all of you enjoyed it as well, got something out of it. Please let us know if you have a favorite episode or topic. And so where do we go next?
Next.
Yeah, I have some ideas.
Okay.
Yes, I have some ideas. So back to my metaphor, if we can. So if we think about Arc 1 as pouring the foundation, saying family culture matters, and creating rituals and routines that really make space for our intentional family culture. And then Arc 2 as the emotional wiring of the house, the language, the frameworks, the invisible stuff that you can't see, but you can really feel. I feel like we've made a pretty nice house. At least nice enough that it is time to step outside. And so where I'd like to go next is around what happens when our family individually steps out into the world with the foundation that we've laid behind us. Sound fun?
I love it. Outside the home, there are so many landmines and
so many adventures.
So many adventures. I think of the landmines first, obviously, because we can control what happens in the house, more or less. And outside, anything goes.
Yes, it goes back to that quote that I love, that I told you my friend sent to me, that I love when things are predictable and under my control, but it is time to break free and see the adventures the universe has planned for us.
Well, I couldn't wait to get outside the home when I was a kid. And now that I'm an adult, I love being inside the home. So I think exploring what outside the home looks like with our family as a family unit and how we show up in the world together and how we prepare our children to show up in the world as members of this family individually outside. That's going to be some really cool stuff to dig into.
Me too. I'm excited. I'm excited for our kids and for the experiments that we will run with them, but also for the experiments that you and I will run individually and together.
Yes.
Because we had a very full, vibrant external life prior to COVID. And whether it was moving 3 times or children or a combination of all of it, We have done some remarkable things inside this home, but it is time that we start stepping out.
That's right.
And so I'm excited to experiment with you as well.
Say no more. I will be there.
Cool. And I hope you all will too. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
And we'll see you next time
See you next time.
on The Most Important Thing. Love you, Goosey.
Love you, Goosey.
Hey guys, if you're still here, you're definitely our kind of person. Thanks for spending this time with us on The Most Important Thing. If this episode resonated with you, we'd love for you to follow us wherever you get your podcasts and share it with someone else building family culture on purpose.